This meeting.
Hey, welcome to DCL Radio. You are listening DCL Talk Show. Okay, we have completed our regular season and we are into playoffs. The most exciting part of DCL is always playoffs.
Yeah, hi
Okay,
Jagan, this is Hari.
uh, yeah, welcome, Hari. Give me
Yeah,
one
thanks.
second. Let me
Sure.
introduce one by one.
Mhm.
Okay, so right now I have four gentlemen here. Two are very familiar with our audience, with our listeners. One is Imti. Imti is coming back after a very long gap. Hope all is well with you, Imti. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Jagan. It's really good to be back on the show after a break. Really looking forward to today's show. And like you mentioned, we are at the business end of the tournament, and where all the excitement really glues everybody here. So welcome to all our listeners, and looking forward to the show.
Okay, welcome to the show, Dinesh.
Thank you, Jagan bro. Hello, Imti. Hello, Hari and Sravan. Excited to be on this show, especially. Looking forward to a wonderful playoffs starting this weekend.
Okay, welcome to the show, Sravan.
Thank you, Jagan and team. Thank you for having me here today.
Hey, welcome to the show, Hari.
Yeah, thanks Jagan. Thanks for having me. I think this is the first time I'm joining the DCL talk show, and
Okay.
this is, I think, an exciting moment. The playoffs are getting started next week, so hopefully, good luck to all the teams, and hard luck to all the teams who haven't made it. But always there is a next year for everyone. So again, thanks for inviting me to the show.
See, actually, very first time what I observed is, lot of teams, those who missed the playoffs, they are as competitive as the regular, even those who made it to playoffs. That's my observation. Okay, and sorry, Sravan, I put a lot of pressure on you for this show. So once again, thanks to you. Okay,
No
with that,
problem, Jagan.
let's quickly jump into the show. And this is how I would like to go. And I'll go each game by game. Okay, and then we'll go by strengths. When I say strengths, um, uh, I'll ask you, like, which team is bowling heavy between those two, and which team is batting heavy, and which has a better all-round team, and then X factor who can win them game apart from their stars, who have to contribute. That's how we'll go today. Okay, and at the end, um, um, we can also discuss about who has the highest chances, better chances of winning that game. And um, I'll start with the first game of the night is Patriots versus Gladiators. Gladiators, till last weekend, they were unbeaten, and the best part about this season is every team is beaten. There is no unbeaten team. So I'll start straight away with Imti. Imti, your thoughts on this game in terms of bowling? Which team is bowling heavy between Patriots and Gladiators?
Yes, Jagan. Again, the first pre-quarter final, number one seeded team Gladiators and number 16 seeded team Patriots. So uh, obviously, like if you look at the records in the past history, we would definitely say that Gladiators seem to be more well-rounded and balanced team compared to both. Again, Patriots having some merger kind of situation early in the season, and then Sai was not available in the beginning, and once he came back, I think the team totally looked totally different, and that's when they started performing and eventually made it to the playoffs. So Patriots has the momentum on their side, but Gladiators overall looks very good. Again, like comparing both the teams roster-wise, Gladiators we all know is a batting heavy unit, but I think even not taking any credit away from their bowling unit. But if you ask me whether it's a batting unit or a bowling unit, I would definitely say Gladiators is a batting heavy unit. On the other hand, Patriots, I think, a little weaker on the batting side, in my opinion. I think their bowling is much better than their batting, if you ask me. And it could eventually be a Gladiator batsman versus Patriots bowling competition.
So you mean to say Gladiators have better bowling when compared to, better batting when
overall.
compared to Patriots?
Yes.
Oh.
Overall, between the two teams, I think Gladiators have the experience with the bowling unit as well. Within Patriots, I'm saying that they are more bowling heavy than batting. So if that is
Okay, let me conclude with my last question also. X factor. Okay. If Patriots have to win, who do you call their X factor?
There's no doubt about that. It has to be Sai Tota. Like I mentioned in my statement earlier, like since he came back and started playing in the second half of the season, the team has looked totally different. So if Patriots has to win, I think Sai Tota is the man.
Okay, Sai Tota is obviously the star of that team. Okay, apart from him, who do you think?
That is a good question. Again, I think Nitin has been doing a good job leading the side, so Nitin would be one option, and then I think Sainath has been among some runs in the batting side, so I think I will look up to these two other people. Then in the bowling, obviously you have the vast experience of Venkat Vadnala, so I think they have to come as a unit, and if they have to upset a mighty team like Gladiators, I think all these individuals have to come together as a team and debuggle the opponents.
Okay, so I'll go to Sravan now. Sravan, what do you think? First time you're, I mean, after a very long time, I think you guys are missing playoffs.
Right, Jagan. So
and yeah, how do you feel, and what do you think from outsider? What do you think about the game between Patriots versus Gladiators?
Well, coming to the first point, missing the playoffs. Obviously, we did not play to our potential this year, and the games we should have won, we did not win, and we as a team did not perform to our expectations, our own expectations. Hence, as you see, we're outside the pool right now, outside the playoff pool. So we'll definitely try to improve on our mistakes and win backwards, meaning we should work as a team again and come back strong next year. So that's what we're hoping for, because nobody wants to miss a playoff, and we really did not live out our own potential this year. Coming back to the game, the first game, rank number 1 versus rank number 16, which is Gladiators versus Patriots, right? So as we all know, and Imti summarized it very well, Gladiators is a batting heavy unit, and they always have the edge with them because they keep on attacking the opposition from ball 1. They don't care if they lose first wicket, but if you take 2-3 wickets, the game will definitely become interesting. But if you let the opening batsman 1 down 2 down attack you and dictate you, then they're gonna go all guns blazing. So obviously, Gladiators as a batting heavy unit has the edge. Well, coming to bowling, I always feel Gladiators bowling is a little weak. They always need that little push, meaning if they get that 2 or 3 wickets, then they'll just go with the opposition. But if they're unable to get those initial 2-3 wickets, the opposition can actually dictate it back to Gladiators. So now coming to your question, Jagan, I think Patriots have good experience with respect to Vadnala joining them and Sai Tota. They have good experience. And as a team, they have individual contributors, not just one winner. So if they can work together and try to click as a unit, I think they can surprise us. But favorites would be Gladiators.
Okay, you said there's a very well said point there. They have to play as team if they have to beat a team like Gladiators. Okay, so who do you think X factor if Patriots have to win? Because you said Gladiators, you're giving the game to Gladiators, so I'm asking you this question.
So for Patriots, apart from Sai Tota, I think it's Sainath Latred is going to be the key person. I've seen him playing in one of the tournaments recently, and he looks all fit and in form. And if he can play that anchor role, I think they will put runs on the board, and think they have the bowling to dictate after that.
Okay, now I'll go to Dinesh. Dinesh.
Yeah, so obviously Glads for sure. I think if you ask for this particular game, I think Glads bowling might survive. Giving it to Glads for sure. Glads bowling might survive, but we all hope for a surprise there. So giving it to Glad for this one. So I think all-round side, again, Glad's has got all-round side comparing what they've done. They've been able to bowl decently well compared to their batting. They've been done well. So it is just that sort of a matchup, right? So 1 versus 16. Glad seemed to be an all-round team. What can go well for Patriots? The only thing I always say against the big teams is like pace off. Is what I always say. You know, the Venkat Varnala type bowlers is what need to click and need to keep at it, right? So there will be big shots. Eventually, higher the risk, higher the chances of getting a wicket. So more big shots, more chance of getting a wicket. There's just no point putting your head down. Is what I would suggest for Patriots. For me, probably along with Saipot has been mentioned a couple times, probably Gopi Chand might be the X factor for Patriots to come through. Expecting a decent all-round performance there from Gopi Chand. He's got 3 man of the match awards for them, so hoping that he can click on the day along with the other big names, which was mentioned already.
Okay, very well said. Hari,
Yes.
let
So,
me ask a different question here. Okay, between Patriots and Gladiators, who will have more pressure going into the game?
definitely, I would say Gladiators.
Gladiators. Okay.
Yes, because you know they are number 1 seed and Patriots are number 16. So definitely Patriots, you know, it's a very good accomplishment for them to be in the playoffs. I'm sure you know they have a very good unit. We played with them in the regular season, and Gladiators have been winning all the games except the last game. So definitely they will be going with confidence that they are going to win the game. But that's the reason why I think they will have the more pressure than Patriots.
Okay, now let's get into, you know, who has the best probability of winning, best chances of winning.
So I would say Gladiators has slight chance, not full chance. Like you know, maybe I would say 60-40 because Patriots is a very good unit. I would say like Sai Tota is the superstar, but if Sainath can click, because I know Sainath, I know Venkat, you know we played together for a long time. If Sainath can click and stay there for at least 8-9 hours, he can take over the game very easily. He can score very quick 30-40 runs. That makes a lot of difference. And also they have a very good bowling unit like Sai Tota and Vadnala with his vast experience, played final semis in all the playoffs. And Gopi Chand, I saw his bowling. He is a very good bowler, and with his strike rate of 9 point something in his games he played, will be very crucial. So these 3 are the bowlers, and I think as Dinesh said, or as Sravan said, you know, the bowling unit of Gladiators is not that great, and also there are some playoff implications. I'm not the leather ball semi-final implications. So we don't know who are all available from the Gladiator side because their main bowling is Jeet and Amog. And if they have this 40 semi-final, they are the top bowlers, I would say, from their side. And Ronak, the good thing from Gladiators is Ronak U. Patel is on form, came to form the right moment. So that was an added advantage for them. And again, you know, depending upon the playoff, semi-final things, we don't know that 11 from them. But I would say Gladiators have 60% of winning the game and 40% to Patriots.
Okay, see, I don't know. One of the bowlers I like in Patriots is Mahendra Burreddy. So we played against them, so I liked his bowling. Okay, and see, apart from that, Patriots have to watch out on their extras. They are giving too many extras when compared to any other team in the league. That's what I felt, you know, especially playoff bound teams. And with that, let's quickly get into our next game. Next game is Hawks versus GLCC. I'll start with Imti.
Well, again, number 2 seeded GLCC versus number 15 Hawks. Hawks, first timer in the league, played very well to get into the playoffs, I thought. And whereas on the other hand, GLCC was expected to be in the playoffs. I think this season GLCC has tightened a lot of missing pieces. And GLC is looking very, very well-oiled machine this year, in fact. And they have all their bases covered, looks like. And they have their main players in form. And I think Hawks, on the other hand, they started off very, very good in the beginning of the season. First half was really good for them, but then somehow they started fizzling down in the second half, and I think momentum-wise, they're a little down on confidence. I think it'll take a very, very big miracle for Hawks to beat GLCC. I would easily give this game for GLCC, comparing the roster, the experience, and the player-to-player marking. So it should be an easy win for GLCC is what I'm thinking.
See, if Hawks have to win this game, who is the X factor? Who should be the X factor?
Well, again, like I'll pick the obvious choice. I think their main player has been Vikram Reddy Gulamari, who has been doing absolutely well with both bat and ball. I think he's become like the one-man army for their team in most of the games. Again, I'll repeat the same point. They started off well in the first few games. I think they played as a unit. Everybody was chipping in, and later in the second half, it kind of fizzled down, and it was like just one man performing and trying to get them over. So Vikram Reddy a definite pick, and then I think the other person I would watch out for is Naresh Arkat from Hawks, because I've played with him and I've known so he can be a game changer.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'll quickly go to Sravan.
Well, again, this is going to be an interesting game for me. Experience versus newcomers, if I have to say it. So
See, I see.
versus...
If I can stop you for 1 second.
Yeah.
There isn't anything called first timer in a game. That's my opinion. Okay.
I would definitely agree with you. First time
yeah. See, exactly 20 years ago, we have finished. GLCC finished 20 years this year, 2022. We started in 2002. Okay, exactly 20 years ago, GLCC was new. So. And very next year they ended up winning championship in 2003. So
that's exactly wonderful, right? So there's nothing called experience. Now the experience is seeing the same experience coming to light. Can I say that? Right?
Yeah.
So you're seeing a newcomer who pretty much, I would say, played extraordinarily well to be into playoffs, and it's one of the very well all-round team in my opinion. There's nothing called a star batsman at this minute or star bowler. They're pretty much working as a chain mechanism depending on one or the other. So whereas GLCC, like Imti very well said, is a very well all-rounded seasoned team. They have their batting covered, they have their bowling covered, they have their all-rounders covered. So it's going to be definitely an interesting game for me, at least in my eyes, So obviously, given the experience, GLCC has an edge. But we should not be surprised when we see otherwise. They've proven time and time, Hawks this year at least, they're beating good teams. And that's why they're in playoffs. So for me, GLCC has the edge. But if I were to put it on a meter, then I would say 40-60. 40 to Hawks, 60 to GLCC.
Okay. So my next question is X factor. If Hawks have to win, what is that they have to do? I mean, who has to? Who is the X factor that you are picking?
Yeah, the obvious choice going by the stats this year is Vikram, because of two reasons. He's actually holding the wicket and is working around the players. So if GLCC have to win this, they might have to remove him quickly. So Vikram and Naresh as usual.
Okay, it's a two-man team then basically.
Yeah, we can say that. But they are working with the team. That's where I use the word chain mechanism. These two are working around the team.
Okay. Dinesh, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's got to be GLCC. I think the least number of runs have been scored against GLCC in the entire league so far. So GLCC is a pretty formidable unit from a bowling front as well. So going with GLCC just for the pure fact of that. And for me, for Hawks, as it was mentioned, again, that's what I've always mentioned is like, yeah, just be at it is what I want to mention for these teams is like Hawks and previously Patriots as well. It's like, yeah, again, a lot of discipline, bold in one particular area. It's like, yeah, either be full, don't be short is always what I say, and try to be take pace off and go from there. So the star again has got to be Vikram Reddy, as it's been mentioned by all our analysts so far, along with I hope from Naresh and Shashank as well can contribute and play along with Vikram. They should be able to do well. So star for me is Vikram again.
Okay, Hari.
Yeah, so definitely, as everyone said, the GLCC is a very all-rounded and experienced team, and definitely I'll give edge to GLCC. There is no doubt about it. But Hawks, congrats to Naresh and team getting into the playoffs as the first team, first in their first season. So X Factor, if I would say, Vikram has been playing. He has been playing consistently, and I'm sure he will do better as well in this team in this game. But X Factor would be like Naresh and Shashank have to support Vikram. If these two guys can support Vikram and play along, that will really they can make a big score or they can chase a good score because Naresh is can be he can hit he can score very quick runs. He is a very good hitter of the ball and he has to support Vikram as well. So I would say Naresh and Shashank are the X factors supporting to Vikram.
Okay, fantastic. The next game is SLCC Legends versus Sterling Strikers. This is going to be very, very interesting game. When compared to the top, all the games that we have discussed. I mean, Imti, your thoughts on this game?
Yes, well put, Jagan. I think of the games discussed so far, I think this one is on par. Both the teams, obviously, the seeding doesn't do justice to the capability of the teams or the strengths of the teams. Sterling Strikers has a brilliant season, and that's why they're placed at number 3. And I think they have done so well throughout the season, winning almost all of their games except a few. So I think they have that confidence going into the playoffs. On the other hand, Legends had to kind of do a playoff situation in the last couple of games and get those valuable last bonus points and make it through. But we all know Legends is a great team, and they have some brilliant individuals in there. Hopefully, the last few games give them that confidence and that momentum going into this playoff game. But if you ask, this will be a very closely contested game for me. I think it's hard to pick one team in this, but I think just based on the availabilities, I think both the teams will be affected somehow. So it should be an interesting game in my and I'll be honest that I'm not able to pick a team here for this game.
Oh, you're not picking anybody here. That's
No.
interesting.
Yeah, because I really want to pick a team, but then like just looking at the players and the way they have reached the playoffs, I think it's a very even to even game for me.
So let me ask the question in a different way. If they have full strength, both Legends and Sterling Strikers, who do you pick?
Just based on the performance, again, it could be anybody's day on the game day, but just based on the performances and how many people have contributed and how many people are in form, I think I'll give it to Sterling Strikers.
Sterling Strikers, okay. I'll quick see. I mean, because you said you are not picking anybody based on whatever information you have. So the question of X factor is not there then.
Yeah, I don't have any information. Just FYI, I don't have any information. I'm just doing a guessing game here. So again, just to go through the motions, I think I will go ahead and pick Sterling Strikers.
Sterling Strikers, okay. If SLC, I mean, if Legends have to win, who has to perform well out of all the stars they have?
Obviously, their star player Harish Yalamanchali. I'm not sure about his availability, but because again, I don't know how the schedule is. So if he plays, and then apart from Harish, I think Guru is one player that we really need to watch out for, and he can be the X factor for Legends because he can perform well with both bat and ball. I think he can be the difference for Legends.
Okay, Dinesh.
Yeah, so obviously it's got to be stunning strikers, right? They again, like GLCC, they have an all-round side. I'm picking stunning strikers to win this. But for me, the big thing is like again the availability issues. Like what happened to Glads last week was a pure example. Was not even able to field 11, which is bizarre, to be honest. That's the kind of thing which you need to watch out for, right? So if you don't get the right combination, it's one thing to have people qualified, and if they can't play the crucial game, then you can't do much. So for me, yeah, Harish is an obvious choice, obviously, but this guy Sandeep as well. So I think this guy bats too low in the Legends batting order. He could get a run. If it could be a blessing in this case if the other big stars don't show up. So Sandeep, going to stick my neck out and say he could be an X factor with both bat and ball if he gets to play the game.
Okay, I just got a message that Legends are coming with full strength, and
Perfect.
Sterling strikers have no availability issues. That means both are coming fully loaded. So with that, I'll go to Sravan.
Well, Jagan, this is going to be a cracker of a game. Evenly poised teams, in my opinion. It will be a very good contest, in my opinion. Again, both teams have their bowling covered, whereas batting, Sterling Strikers has little edge in batting when compared to Legends. But if I have to pick the favorites, it's really tough. But I'll give it to Sterling Strikers because of the run they had this year. But again, both the teams are equally strong.
Hari, what do you say?
Yeah, so it's a very good, we can say showcase game of the week. We can say for this playoff game. So like one thing we need to see that Legends have been started their playoffs I think 2 weeks back, because from last 2 weeks it's a must win for them to get into playoffs, and they have won 2 games, and now they have out of all the teams they have the experience of playing playoffs in the season now, right? So and since you said Legends and Sterling Strikers are fully loaded, coming with full force, so Harish will be there. That would be good. So Guru Naga is my favorite player. He can do wonders with the ball, and also he has very good patience and can smash the ball whenever it's required to be hit. So my X factor from the Legends will be Guru Naga. And if you look at Sterling striker side, right, they have Raza Ali, and he can do wonders with the bat and ball. And Mansap Bhatt would be the X factor from Sterling strikers, because he can demolish the bowling at any point of time. If he can keep going, nobody can stop him. And also he can do good with the bat, the bowling as well. So if you ask me like who would win the game, I don't want to say 50%, 50-50 on each, but I would take Legends on this one, because as I said, Legends, they already have started their playoffs 2 weeks back, and now they are more experienced and they know what they are doing, and they are getting into groove on the right time. So that makes a lot of difference. And from the Sterling strikers, couple of people didn't play the last game, and though they have experienced, but they're coming and playing this playoff after playing that Michigan game. So that could be the reason why I would say not full. I don't want to full go with Sterling strikers. So this one I would give it to Legends.
Okay, you're giving it to Legends. So before we go to our next game, this is my observation. It's if Sai Pratap Sakineni, if he can deliver with the ball, Legends are going to win this game. I'm telling you. Okay, and especially
and just to add one
he
point,
has a big. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, Sai is also crucial. Sai Pratap is also going to be very important to the bat as well.
He's my X factor. Yeah. See, I'm not counting on his batting, but his bowling. Very critical is his bowling. If he bowls well on the right spot, and he can take wickets in bunch. That's what I feel. I mean, I'm not talking about any other game here, and I'm looking at the opponent here only, Sterling strikers. That's all.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So with that, the next game is Dynamo. Sorry, I'm going to previous week. Okay. The next game is MCC
Miles.
Miles versus Pokeries. Okay. Let's see. Before even I ask any question on this one, last week the both teams played each other, and I was the umpire there. MCC Pokeries, they gave a choice to MCC Miles. They asked them whether they want bat or ball, whatever they want. They just gave the
Oh,
toss. Okay, that is one thing. And fielding, everything is very well set, and they are about to start the game. And MCC Miles, they wanted to bat, and they are about to start the batting, and then they quickly realized that Pokeries have two lefties, and they wanted to change the pitch and 2Ds. So psychologically, they got defeated there itself. Okay, that's how I felt. So with that mindset in the game, with that mindset, when people walk into the game, the chances of winning are very less because they are putting pressure on themselves even before the game started. That's how I felt. Imti, your thoughts?
Well, again, like a repeat of last week, these both teams met each other. Obviously, both the teams would have studied and kind of marked the players for this upcoming game. But again, if you look at both the teams, right? So MCC Miles, again, one of my favorite teams this year because they have played absolutely outstanding cricket. All their key players right in form and scoring runs at will. On the other hand, Pokeries, when you think they are down and under, they just come and surprise us with these performances. So, and if you ask me, like one team that is always a favorite for playoffs, I would pick Pokeries. So again, going into this game, right, Pokeries versus MCC Miles, I think I would favor a little bit towards Pokeries. Again, maybe it's contradicting your statement where first comer experience, all those topics. Pokeries has great experience in playoff games, so that will definitely add to their advantage, I think, here. And then again, last week they won this game so easily, chasing close to 100 runs, and I think that will just definitely be a factor going into this game. And like you said, MCC Miles had some kind of hesitation before the start of the game. So mindset, mind games, and Ravi Narla is a very, very mind game player, I would say. So he would take care of all these things in there. So I would give the game to Pokeries. Players to watch out for, there are plenty in Pokeries. Obviously, Saran is one of my favorite players there. I think he is the key wicket, both in batting and bowling. He can change the game. Then for MCC Miles, I think we all know obviously what Sanjay can do. I've not seen him in full form this season, but I think Jaswant is the guy for me who can be the game changer if MCC Miles has to win.
Okay. So
Game to Pokeries. If MCC Miles has to win, I think Jaswant is the key for me.
okay. So I'm counting on Rahul Channa also. Okay.
Yeah, again, I'm picking Jaswant just because Brahma, Rahul, Sanjay, these are all expected to play and
Expected.
perform.
Yeah,
So,
I agree
yes.
with you. Yes.
Yes.
These three have to contribute if they have any chance.
Yes.
Yes, I agree on that one. And I'll quickly go to Dinesh on this. Dinesh.
Yeah, so this one, obviously a little bit of edge to Pokeries. They've, after GLCC, they've given away the least runs in the league, and they've scored, but on the other side, MCC Miles have scored the most runs in the league, I believe. So these two put together should be a good cracker of the game. Big stars for me for Pokeries, I think it's got to be Raghu, both the lefty bat and lefty ball. He could be the X factor for them because the rest of them are expected to play well. So I think it's going to be Raghu, especially his bowling is going to be key here. From the MCC Mao side, it's got to be Rahul Channa for me. He's got to be the X factor. But I think they might be able to bat Pokeries out of the game, if anything. So that's the big warning for Pokhari's there. But other than that, giving the game to Pokhari's, hoping for a Rahul Chenna versus Raghu Kumar Pavnisami battle.
Okay, Sravan.
This was going to be an interesting game again. Last week, obviously, Pokhari's won over Miles, and the mindset topic is already spoken here, so there's no point in explaining that again. If I have to pick a team between Pokhari's and Miles, obviously Pokhari's has the experience in terms of playoffs, and they have the tactics behind them. Miles is very strong. They have good batting. They go at you from ball one, and they are a little weak in the bowling, but they're pretty good with the bat. So if they can put good score on the board, we can see an upset here. So again, the edge, I would like to give it to Pokhari's, but Miles is definitely batting heavy. If they bat really well, I think they might kick Pokhari's out of the game here. So for me, the X factor is Rahul Chenna and Brahma Naidu. If Brahma Naidu clicks in the beginning, he scores very quickly, and Rahul Chenna in the middle. So that makes a dangerous combination for them.
Okay, Hari.
Yeah, this is like, it's a repetition of the last week game. And I think, Jagan, as you said, you umpired this game, and definitely you will have more better idea looking at both the teams live, doing umpiring from, in between, in the middle. So, but this match, MCC Miles and Pokhari's, I would give edge to Pokhari's because, Sharan, Neil, Raghu, Vignesh, and Satish Mani. We have two lefties, as you said, they have Raghu and Satish. But Raghu is he's a very good bowler with the left arm and then and left hand batsman. I think right arm bowler is left arm bowler,
left
I guess.
Left arm
bowler, yeah,
Raghu is
left arm spinner and also right, left arm batsman along with Satish. And Neil is a crucial, I would say, the X factor. I would say Neil and Raghu because Saran has been playing good, and I'm sure he's continuing his form. And same as Vignesh. Vignesh is consistently performing with all the games, so I don't expect any X factor from these two. But if Neil and Raghu can stay there and deliver, then that's it. That they can take the game away. But from MCC Miles, my favorite is Sanjay because on a given day, if he keeps going, as I said, for other batsmen before, nobody can stop him. He can just score very quick, like Rahul Chenna and Brahma Naidu. But this season, I don't know why I haven't seen great innings from Sanjay. Maybe this is due for him, starting from playoffs, and hope so. And good luck for him as well for the game. And Deepak Unyal is the main bowler for these guys, and hopefully, I think he'll come back strong, and then he get into his rhythm and get quick wickets that could also have an impact on Pokhari's batting lineup. But still, Pokhari's are in a good form, so I give edge to the Pokhari's team.
Yeah, see, by looking at, looking at last week's game, and I'll say Pokhari's game, but just in case, this can happen. Okay, Rahul Chenna, Sanjay Ilangovan, and
Brahma.
Brahma. If these three click, that's it.
Oh my God! If these three click, that's it. They can beat
these
any
three
team.
click on the same day. They can beat any team. Okay, that much I can.
So if I can add to that, Jagan, just one statement. I think we are all favoring Pokhari's, but I think if I want to sum it up in one statement, right? MCC Miles has all the ingredients. The recipe just has to click.
Very well said. Very well said. Yeah. They have everything. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like they need to bat Pokhari's out of the game, right? So that's the choice there. Yeah.
Like Imti mentioned, if they can play out of Ravi's mind, they can win this. So Ravi has all the tricks behind him. So
true. Okay, but Sandeep Gopu says whoever chases might have a better chance as both are strong in batting. That's what it. So he thinks toss is going to be very crucial. Okay, so with that, we'll go to our next game. Next game is a very, very interesting game. Detroit Titans versus United Raptors. So the biggest, Detroit. I don't know if I call Detroit Titans as first-year team. Maybe Gaba may kill me. So I'm not calling that. Both have very good experience. The difference between these two teams is going to be psychological factor. That's what I feel. I personally feel. United Raptors, they play very well in regular season. As soon as they enter into playoffs, they put a lot of pressure on themselves, and most of the times, this is what I observed, they'll have too many captains, almost 11 people captaining the game, and yelling at each other. That's what I observed. Okay, so with that, I'll go to Imti.
So Jagan, you already let out all the secrets and how to beat Raptors, right? Just kidding. So, it's a good matchup. Raptors versus Detroit Titans. I think comparing both the teams, again, we cannot call Detroit Titans as a new team. Obviously, all the players have plenty of DCL experience and well led by Satish Gaba, and they deserved playoffs spot this year, and rightfully they are in the playoffs. Again, like just head to head between these two teams, I think Raptors obviously a very confident team going into the playoffs, I would say, because they have been playing good cricket throughout the season. They had some minor hiccups, but I think overall, I think Raptors are looking favorites to win this one for me. If you look at their batting, I think they have scored plenty of runs, Raptors, and even their bowling is looking very good this season with Ajit, Vignesh, Harsha, Gagan, Ashok, and then Sandy added to the roster in the last few games. So I think with that addition of Sandeep, I think Raptors really are looking very, very strong. Detroit Titans, on the other hand, I think there are only a few players who can really change the game for them. As a team, again, obviously all the 11 have to contribute, but I think Detroit Titans are very heavily dependent on Satish and Vihar if they have to win. So looking very difficult for Detroit Titans, but it's not impossible. Like you said, again, Raptors always, as soon as they come into playoffs, something magical happens and they somehow dismantle. So if that is the case again this year, I think Detroit Titans just have to stay there and wait for those opportunities and push Raptors out of the game. But if it's a regular game, I think Raptors are definitely favorites for me.
Yeah, I agree on that. And Dinesh, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I'm going to stick my neck out for this one and call it for Titans. Why? Purely based on the fact that Raptors are under so much pressure. It is just them against them, right? For Raptors, they have the batting, especially. I think so much dependency on Amar. So it's tough. He's been doing it across various different leagues. I think that's a good experience for him. But again, that's one crucial wicket. You take Amar early, then obviously I think it's got to be the Gagan show here for him to hold things together and score at a decent enough clip. So it all depends on the start which Amar gets. So the only reason I'm saying is like a good matchup against Amar and Gagan, probably someone like Sayesh Vasan should be the X factor for the Titans to win. I think both Vihar and Satish have got the experience. I think the kind of game they play, they're not under that much pressure versus like what Amar is going to be facing, right? So that's not the kind of pressure Vihar and Satish are going to face. So I think the X factor for Titans is going to be Sayesh, mainly with his bowling, and we'll see what happens. And probably Raptors, as mentioned, that bowling of Sandeep along with the Ashok Bhavanam, I think both of them have bowled well. Especially good to see Ashok right up there with all the big batting heavy guys there, still contributing enough to the team. So Ashok Bhavanam and Sandeep from a bowling front, and Sayesh Vasan to be the star for Titans to win for me.
Okay, Sravan, your thoughts?
This game, I guess, there's nothing called experience because both the teams have experience here. Both Detroit Titans and Raptors, they both have plenty of experience to play this game and call it a good knockout game. Now, whoever handles the pressure well, they're gonna win this game. It's basically we cannot pick Raptors or Titans here. Whoever is gonna handle the pressure well, they're gonna win this game. And with Raptors, like Dinesh mentioned, if Amar can click and score, or if Amar doesn't click, what happens is a question. They do have the firepower. They do have good batting, like Gagan, Ajit, Kiran, and even Pradeep Anjuru. He can play long innings. So they have the batsmen to come and dictate and play along and survive. But if Amar loses, if the team loses Amar quickly, what happens is a big question. And because we can see that they might struggle. However, the league stage, they had a fantastic run and they have good batting power, good bowling power. So the edge is with Raptors, but the pressure is going to be key because Detroit Titans has the experience to get this. So edge is with Raptors for me. And about the X factor, I think I'm going to give it to Satish Gaba. Actually, he can surprise us with both bat and ball.
Cool. You see, if Amar clicks, that's it. Game is done. Okay, he's like, somebody like Shehwag playing in DCL. That's all. Okay, Hari, your thoughts.
Yeah, so as Sravan said, both teams are experienced teams, and Raptors, the skipper, Mr. Pradeep Botta, is injured. I don't know if he's going to play this game or not. He's the main backbone of the team because he is very good, very smart guy. He is very smart. I know because I played with him. Bowling changes or batting order or fielding everything. He is a very good guy, and I'm like he's very intellectual while playing the cricket, right? So he'll be out of the game, I would say, because I think he had a bad injury. And again, starting with Raptors batting, if Amar gets going, that is they're done. They'll take away the game. But if Amar gets out, then that's a big issue for them because Butta is not there in the middle to stay at the wicket and rotate the strike. So the X factor from Raptor side is Gagan Singh. He can bowl and also bat. And the addition of Sandeep definitely added their extra feather into their bowling hat. So I will give the edge to Raptors, and the X factor being would be Gagan Singh. And related to the Detroit Titans, I know, like I gave the edge to Raptors, but still Detroit Titans as equally as talented team as Raptors. But the thing is, here I would see only a couple of guys playing good, and I will give the X factor for the Sahesh. If he can bat and bowl, that I think Satish Gaba, he's very experienced and he know how to. He's played finals last year, and he's very very seasoned player. But Sahesh is also a seasoned player and experienced player. But if he can deliver the things that things could go the other side to the Detroit Titans. So I would give the edge to Raptors in this game.
Okay, so you talked about Botta, right? I think Botta is not playing; he's injured. So
He's injured. Yeah.
Knee
yes,
injury.
knee, is that knee?
Yeah.
Knee. Yeah.
Okay, so Botta is not there. Only thing is they have to, so the bad habit of Raptors is putting pressure on themselves. They'll come into the game thinking too much about opponent than their own strengths. It all depends on that. Okay, and Titans. Okay, in my opinion, they have a point to prove to the league. They have deviated. Last year, half of these Titans, they were in finals, and they started their own team now. So maybe they have to prove to themselves. So this is the time they have to bring out their best. That's what I feel. And strikers versus KRCC. Okay. When we compare, head to head, KRCC is way above than strikers. But what happened last year? Gladiators were head to head when compared to strikers, way above. But strikers were able to beat that team. With that, Imti, your thoughts?
I was actually about to mention that same thing, Jagan. So KRCC definitely way above par if you compare the team strengths against strikers. But then strikers has a very good combination of players who think and make changes accordingly, right? Like you have players like Kapil, and then obviously, sorry, 1 second. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So strikers has that combination of players where they play those mind games, right? And whereas KRCC on par, they have like excellent players: Hemant, Tamim, Maulik, Ziban, Jasneet. All these players have been performing really well throughout the season. So if KRCC definitely favorites on paper, but then again, like last year we saw strikers beating Gladiators. So strikers are known for some surprises. So KRCC has to watch out for that. And I think if strikers has to beat KRCC, the key for them is Binod Singh. If Binod can perform his magic with the ball, I think strikers has a very, very good chance.
Okay. Dinesh, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this one giving it to KRCC, obviously for the squad depth amongst a lot of different things and the kind of form they've carried through the season as well. For me, it is KRCC batting versus strikers bowling, right? That's the biggest matchup here. So X factors for this one, I think it's got to be a combination between Kapil, Binod, and Deepak. So they're the best contributors, right? So their top three bowlers are their main performers, and they are ranked top for strikers. So it's got to be this combination of these three guys, Kapil, Binod, and Deepak, as I mentioned. So KRCC on the other front, I think, depending on Hemant and Tamim, I think that's what's going to click for them. But other than that, it's just not a couple of guys for them, right? It's just a long batting unit, and maybe even a Sravan can be playing a crucial hand along with Jasneet. So these things, all of it work for KRCC, but as I said, strikers bowling and like more of the money ball type game is what strikers play, and they've proven it in the past as well. But giving it to KRCC.
Okay. Sravan.
If I have to pick one team between these two, I think an obvious choice would be KRCC because of the way they perform and the all-round players they have in the squad. Like we already are talking here, strikers can definitely surprise anybody. Last year, they pretty much won against Gladiators, who were unbeaten, and they have good mix of experience with them. They know how to play the game. They know how to put pressure in the game, and also they know how to get into batsman's head if they're playing, when they're in the field. So if KRCC is keeping an eye open and watching themselves in the field, I think they can win this. But if they let strikers get into their head, strikers can surprise us.
Okay. So if strikers have to win, who should be their X factor? Who has to perform well?
The question to me?
Yeah.
In the bowling, Binod Singh, definitely. He has
bowling is
experience.
Binod. Yeah.
Yep. Batting Parag.
Parag.
They have one player called Dinesh. Dinesh Nujula. He can be a threat too.
Okay. Hari, your thoughts?
Yeah, if you look at these two teams, I would definitely give edge to KRCC because the depth they have. And I think there are no Mishka implications to the team as well because Tamim, Mufasir, and these guys are heavily, they were Mishka players, but I think I heard that they are not, they will be available for this game. So that's a very big advantage and make stronger team for KRCC. So I think I'd give the edge definitely to KRCC. But if strikers have to win the game, obviously there's no other than Mr. Binod Singh who can do magic with the ball. So if he can keep getting the wickets of these guys, then there's no way they can come back because he has 5 overs and he can do wonders with the 5 overs. And also the bat, I would rely upon Ishan Patel. I've seen him batting before. He's a very good batsman. If he can go with the bat and Binod Singh and Mr. Kapil, especially Binod, if he can go with the ball, then I think these two can surprise KRCC.
Okay. FCC versus Thunderbolts. Actually,
Indus
FCC
Thunder.
Indus Thunder, sorry.
Enough now.
FCC versus Indus Thunders. FCC surprised the league by making it a playoff season. Not just making it a playoff. They have played very good cricket this year. Okay. And Imti, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think FCC really deserved the playoff spot this season. The way they performed throughout the season, I think they have played some wonderful cricket and rightly deserve that playoff spot. So again, but the draw has pitted them against Indus Thunders, whom they have actually played in the regular season. So they have that knowledge of each other, like playing against each other. So they might have a read into that game and kind of get some insight for going into this game. If you look from a team perspective, I think Indus Thunders, obviously a three-time champion team, so they know the quirks of playoffs and they know how to get out of situations. But surprisingly, if I'm looking at the performances this year for Indus Thunders, I don't see the regular names. Instead, I see the other half of the team that are performing this season and both the stats for bowling and batting. So that's a good thing, because if their key players also come into form, and then I think that would be just ominous signs for the opponents. On the other hand, FCC, like Jagan mentioned, we were actually surprised because at the beginning of the season, I don't think we were considering FCC to be in the playoffs, at least at the initial stages, right? So, but I think they have proved us all wrong. They have played some fantastic cricket, and I think they are playing as a team, and I think that is the main reason why they are in the playoffs. And so if I'll give the game to Indus Thunders just based on the playoff experience and the kind of the rosters in both the teams. FCC, I think, will have to play out of their skin to win this one. Again, I don't know the implications for and the leather ball conflicts for both the teams, but hopefully both the teams will play full strength, and this will be a cracker of a game. And I think X factor, if you ask me, for FCC, I know it's difficult to pick one player because they have been playing as a unit, like I said. But if FCC has to win, I think Prabhu Mahadevia, I think he holds the key for me.
Yeah. Prabhu and KK is in very wonderful form this year. So
yes, so he's in good form. So I'm expecting him to play the obvious and score runs. So outside of Vamsi, who has been their key player this season, Prabhu Mahadeva, I think, has to step up this game if
has
they
to
have
step
to
up.
win.
Yeah, I agree on that one. Sravan, your thoughts on this game?
This is going to be an interesting game, actually. Just for the fact that FCC has already played Indus, but Indus, we don't know if Indus is going to show up with the proper champion Indus team or a placeholder Indus team. If they come with the second,
you made you made an interesting comment on Indus Thunders. Why do you think so?
Because of playoffs, obviously they have playoffs this weekend, both in DCL and also in Michigan.
Oh, so okay. Now I get it. Yeah.
If they show up with a proper Indus team, there's no question. There's no match here. But we don't know what combination of Indus shows up. And only the captain knows, or Sandeep Gopal knows it. So FCC definitely has an edge because of that uncertainty. Because FCC is playing as a unit, and they have good bowling, plus they have good batting who can surprise anybody. So for me, depending on which Indus shows up, I'll give it to FCC for this one, actually.
Okay. So if FCC has to win, and if Indus Thunders come with full strength, what is that FCC has to do?
FCC has to play all 25 overs, and their one-down batsman like Teju has to really play long. If that can happen, along with Prabhu Mahadeva, if they can play in the middle, then they have Amit Gowda and Vamshi, who can give that boost in the end. So with the score on the board, game can change.
Okay, so basically it depends on toss also. Toss
Correct.
dependent. FCC has to bat first for that to happen.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, Dinesh, your thoughts?
Yeah, I am calling it this one for Indus Thunders. But the big worry for me is like from a batting front, I don't know how much dependency is there on Praveen, right? So Praveen Bangera is like how much dependency there is on that. It's the big question mark there from batting front. And again, his availability for the game too. So not sure if he's playing Mishka playoffs or not. So that's a big thing for me. Again, from FCC standpoint, again, I'm looking at the batting there. I think their batting is slightly not the strongest suit for them. The kind of games which is going on. So there seems to be a little bit of not enough batting time for their better batters. So that's the tough part there. So X factor for me has got to be the longest name in DCL, I believe, Venkata Satya. So that's got to be the X factor for me for FCC to pull something out. But yeah, from Indus Thunders again, I think if Panditi gets to play and we know what he can do with his opening spell, so that's going to be a tough thing to cope up with. So we'll see what goes on. But giving this one to Indus Thunders.
Indus Thunders. Okay, Hari, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah. So this game I would give edge to Indus Thunders because even though there are, I think, Mishika implication on Praveen Bangera, Dinesh Pandit, and Manoj Singh, I think they have this 40 semi-final game. But still, I think Indus Thunders have enough depth to handle FCC. So I think Indus Thunders should be able to take care of the business here. From FCC side, if they have to win the game, I think Sujan have to bowl and Mr. Vamshi. Vamshi has to, if he can have the same innings played in one of the Michigan Cup game, I think he will score. He will have the big score for the FCC. And Mr. Prabhu Deva as Prabhu has to step up, as Imti said. If he can stay there at the wicket and players like Vamshi can go at the one side, these three people would be a good enough X factors, I would say, from the FCC front to take away the game.
Okay, okay. There is a suggestion from okay, one of our analysts. Okay, see, if Dinesh, Manoj, and Bangera shows up to the game, he wants FCC to field first if they win toss, because no matter what happens, these three are going to leave at 11:30. That's all. Okay. And Indus will be looking at fielding, at least three less people. That is 7. Okay. And and probably
just one thing.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Jaren. Just one thing. I just want to add one thing. Like both FCC and Indus, I really have good friends in both the teams. But with no hard feeling, I'm saying if Indus comes with proper Indus team, there's no match for FCC. Otherwise, FCC really has an edge.
Yeah. True,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I agree on that one. There's no doubt about that one. But as you know, see, there's a reason Indus Thunders won championship several times. Okay. So obviously, Indus Thunders are much stronger than FCC. But if their stars are leaving like this by 11 o'clock, then it's trouble for any team. Okay.
Yeah.
I rather would say these three, they don't show up, they don't come, they don't play this game, so that some other three people will play, and I still think Indus Thunders are stronger than FCC even in that case. Okay, and with that we'll get into our last game, and two pillars of stars are here. Okay, so stars versus Tri Hawks. Imti, your thoughts on this game?
Oh, am I going? Because I thought I would
Yes,
not be
yes,
asked.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
okay,
again,
let me give you my thoughts on this one. Between stars and Tri Hawks, stars, in my opinion, they have best bowling attack in our DCL. That's my opinion. Okay, Tri Hawks, it's one or two men show. Okay, they have two batsmen is what I feel. They are two batsmen team. Okay, with that, Give me your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, again, like I kind of agree to your statements that Stars has a good bowling unit, one of the best in the league, and definitely will give run for the money against any opponent. Yes, but I think again that being said, we have seen Stars kind of up and down throughout the regular season, so that might play a little factor. Again, this is a playoff game, so anything can happen. On the other hand, Troy Hawks, I think all the pressure will be on Stars in this game. I'm just giving my honest opinion as an analyst, not as a player here. So again, you mentioned Troy Hawks is like one or two people that are shining and performing, but again, that is giving them the win. So it's obviously adding to that confidence. So if you ask me to pick one team, obviously I'll pick Stars. But then if Troy Hawks has to win, I don't know if I can say that here against my own team. So
if you pick other team, you would have been out of the team.
That's why I wanted to get Hari's reaction. That's why I kind of started the statement and then held myself off. So yeah. So sorry, Troy Hawks. No insights.
Yeah, well, let's leave it there. Leave it there. I'll quickly go to Hari Parankusham now. You tell me about this game. Okay.
See, I don't want to say any X factors here, and because that would jeopardize my plans or my thoughts on this game.
Okay.
But yeah, both they are.
So, Senior, you don't have to say anything about Stars. Just tell me about Troy Hawks. Okay.
Troy Hawks is a very
what
good
is
unit,
your expectation? What is your expectation from Troy Hawks to compete with you?
No, Troy Hawks is a good team because they have taken care of business with other good opponent teams, and they scored very high number of runs almost in every game. Like a young team led by Santosh Kakulavaram. So like I would say that it's a very good team, and that's the reason why they got higher seed than us.
You
and
call
they got more
Santosh
points.
young?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh,
if
really?
not, he will call me old. So we should call each other young. Otherwise, it will.
So that's for himself. He's taking care of himself.
Because couple of years back, I attended his 50th birthday. So, okay, please, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they have a very good unit. That's what I can say, and we cannot take it easy. We have our own this thing, so I think it's going to be a good game because the 8 and 9 slots are almost equal. Both teams are equal on both sides. I'm like batting and bowl, so it would be a good game of for the playoff season for the playoff game. That's what I would say. It's a good team. Troy Hawks is a good team. It's not easy to beat, or you cannot just take it for granted because they are for a reason they are at number 8. So we have to be very careful and play them.
They are at number 8. The only negative side of Troy Hawks is they haven't beaten any big team apart from SLCC Legends. SLCC Legends, I think it's their first game where Troy Hawks ended up winning, and Legends, so I'll give benefit of doubt to Legends because they had to slog it out to the playoffs because there are two teams for them right now, Legends and there's another team. Generally, if that happens, it's a bit difficult to bring everybody together in one team. Slight chemistry disturbance will be there. At least that's my opinion. Okay.
Jagan, if I can add just one thing about Troy Hawks, right? Like two seasons ago, like Troy Hawks would barely make it to the playoffs. And I think in the last 2-3 years, Troy Hawks has turned as a very strong team. They have worked through that. They have done the hard work, and now we reckon that team that it is a playoff bound team, right? So that is kudos to hard work of Santosh, I think. True. They have been playing consistently, and I really like to appreciate that fact and bring that out here. So.
Oh yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree on that one. And with that, I'll go to Dinesh. Dinesh, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, so for me, I think from a batting front, it might be a battle between Ravi Teja and Pradeep, right? So that's how I'm seeing those two matchups there. I don't know how much dependency is there on both teams. So it eventually gets down to a bowling front. From a bowling front, I think Stars might have a little bit of an edge over Tri-Hawks. So I'm calling this one for Stars. And I think, obviously, I think the X factor for them is going to be Deepak, is what I feel. Obviously, along with Imti, but the X factor is going to be Deepak for me with what I've seen last year in the playoffs. So it's going to be a good fight, probably the underrated showcase game of the playoffs, right? But this is going to be going down to the wire. I'm expecting a little bit of a low-scoring venture to see both the bowlers, both the bowling sides go at each other. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Sravan.
In this game, actually, just like Ravi Dinesh just now mentioned, this game is going to be of bowlers. Stars in this season, they did not concede more than 100 runs. I didn't see a single game, at least, just going to the scorecard. And Tri-Hawks, they have good batsmen. They're very good batsmen in the middle. So if Stars can keep up their good work, I think Stars got this. So, but Tri-Hawks, like Pradeep can surprise anybody. Natraj can stay and play long. And Kaushik is going to be the X factor. He can hit those long boundaries and he can take those quick wickets.
See, I mean, I want to mention one thing. Tri-Hawks, when they had very good momentum, they have to blame themselves because they ended up playing TDF games rather than continuing their momentum here in DCL. So that's where I think they lost that momentum, and bringing back that momentum will be very difficult once it is broken, and especially when you come into playoffs, you're going against one of the top bowling attacks. It will be very difficult to come back, especially on the batting front. That's what I feel, and I think with that we have taken 13 minutes extra, and we have concluded all the games. And we only, so though we have done all these analysis, all that stuff, cricket is, whoever plays that day, they are going to win, and may the best team win. I'll go to last statement for all our analysts, and with one question. Okay. Before you give your last word, just tell me, out of all these matchups, which team has the best bowling? You can exclude Stars, Imti, and Harry. You can tell about other teams.
Okay, sure.
I'll start with Imti.
Best bowling, I think, according to me, it's a pick between KRCC and Raptors for me.
Pick one.
Probably I'll go with Raptors.
Raptors. Okay.
And then for the final words, congratulations to all the teams that have made it to the playoffs. It's a no less achievement, and all the best to all the playing teams. Taking nothing away from the other teams that did not qualify, hard luck. There's always a next time, so this will be a good season for learnings for them. And the business end of the tournament, this is where all the excitement, anxiety, and anxiousness comes into the league. So hopefully we'll have a lot of things to discuss in the next week's analysis. So all the best to all the teams, and we'll talk about the 8 winning teams next week. So all the best. Thanks to all our listeners again.
Thank you, Imti. Dinesh.
So pick the best bowling side, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the GLCC. I think for purely based on stat that the number of runs they've conceded is the least in the league, so I'm going to go with them. And all the best to all the teams. Congrats, first and foremost, for making it to the playoffs. And I think we've beaten this thing over and over again, a cliche term, but still, end of the day, it's not an individual game. The team which plays as a team is going to win it, is what it is. And expecting at least 3 big surprises from what we predicted for next weekend. So we'll see what happens.
Actually, I thought of asking that question also. You know, any surprises, but somehow, time didn't permit. Well,
Yeah.
let's leave it for next week for discussion. Okay,
Yeah.
Hari.
Yeah, but the best bowling, I would definitely agree with Sravan because GLCC, looking at the numbers, I know GLCC played against Stars and also GLCC played against KRCC. They have won both the games by scoring good number of runs and chasing against Stars team. So I think I would give to GLCC very good bowling unit. And
Okay.
congratulations to all the playoff bound teams and may the best team win. Please make sure that we don't get into any issues or any fights, as we have seen a bad incident happened in Toronto. So
Yeah.
let's stay calm. And this is not our bread and butter. I know everyone is passionate about cricket, but please control their emotions and increase you just take this game as increasing the friendshipness and all those things, but not creating your own enemies there in this game. So congratulations to all the teams and also hard luck to the teams who haven't made the playoffs.
That's a nice advice from youngest guy of the league. Okay, Shravan.
Well, I have to pick the best bowling unit. Then I would pick it between GLCC and KRCC. So I'll leave it to them. They're equally strong. So if I have to pick one, it's really tough. So if KRCC shows up with those Tamimoni and Mustafizer and all those guys, they got the edge. But GLCC, they really surprised everyone this year. And all the very best to all the 16 teams that made to playoffs. May the best team win. Going forward, we'll talk about the 8 other teams. But this week, play with fun, play for fun, and play as a team. The team who plays as a team, they'll definitely win.
Yeah, this week belongs to those 16 teams. Okay, have fun. Uh, play with passion and listen to Hari Parankusham. Don't get into any arguments or fights. Life changing. Don't
Yeah.
get into any life changing events. Okay, just play for fun, have fun, enjoy. And with that, once again, I would like to say thanks to Imti, Dinesh, Sravan, and my friend Hari Parankusham. Good night, all.